Instagram together. Okay.
What's the
Awesome.
topic? What are we talking about?
So pretty much your journey, right? Like, we are live already. So
Okay.
again, first of all, thank you for joining me live. The the whole live concept is, there are a lot of people who want to learn about pre-constructions, and I have been looking for, who is the king in pre-construction area. And I see you're doing like a lot of transactions, and also for yourself and for your clients, right? So I thought I could not find anyone better than you to talk about pre-construction.
Hey, thanks for reaching out, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. So, tell us how it all started, because I know, I saw your profile, like you're a soccer player and then got into real estate. So what's your story here for people who don't know?
Oh, my story is well, my journey began playing soccer at a young age.
Hmm.
That was my passion, and then from there, I always wanted to like start my own business. So what I did was during my whole soccer journey, I also started like a side hustle, which was like being a nightclub promoter. So I used to bring people to nightclubs. Started off, just like promoting at a club on the corner at Richmond and Peter, which was Tonic nightclub. And I used to get people off the streets, and then that, I was doing that, and then also going to Italy. And then I found that the soccer thing was just didn't work out. I was there's a lot of politics, and it kind of got demotivated playing soccer. Like it's all a mental thing. Like
Yeah.
being a good player, like I was a good player, but it was also like a mental thing that I wasn't ready, and I didn't have like a coach to like kind of guide me at that time. Now that I'm older, I understand the mistakes I made, and if I had somebody that would have also trained me mentally to be ready, because I was a kid, I think it
Yeah.
would have been different. And then yeah, from there, then I went big on my promoting, nightclub promoting, and I saw a bunch of nightclubs shutting down. And then I got into real estate, and then in between all that, while I was a nightclub promoter, I also opened up a franchise, Extreme Pita, and lost $300,000 in like
Wow.
20s. Yeah,
When you're in 20s, like you lost 300,000. So how
yeah.
did you get out of it now?
It was a great experience. It sounds crazy, but like when like if you like learn from your mistakes, it just will motivate you to make more. Like that I looked at it as, now I'm not going to make the same mistakes I made back then, and I'm going to just learn from my experience, and that's how I got out of the hole.
Yeah, makes sense. I lost on one of my project in early of my investing journey. Like I think it's 80,000. I felt sucked for that moment. Like at that point, like, oh my god, this lot of money,
It is.
especially in the beginning of career, right? But I agree with you. It's just that makes you stronger person. You know
Yeah.
when
Oh,
you
for
look.
sure. Hey, are you
So
are you a real estate broker?
yeah, I'm a real estate agent, but like
Nice.
I am an investor first. So
Okay.
that's how I started my journey, like as an investor. And even till the day, I do a lot of investing. Sales, I have a team. So my team, and we do only in Windsor, Essex.
Oh, in Windsor.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So
Multifamily in Windsor. I was looking out there. There's multifamily. What do you think of that?
which one? There's currently on the market?
Yeah, in general, there's a lot of like multifamilies that like, some opportunities out there.
Mhm.
I just didn't get in it because like I don't really know the area.
Yeah, personally, I own multifamilies. Like, I have a 17-unit building, 6 units, two, three. I love them because there is a great cash flow opportunity, and along the way, you can burn the projects. Like, there is a lot of multifamilies in Windsor are under rented
Hmm.
and under maintained. Like, so the maintenance is not that great because a lot of mom and pop landlords.
And are
So
there are there jobs, like a lot of jobs in Windsor? Like, is there like growth happening that up there?
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of growth happening. So first of all, like there's a new construction for a bridge going on, and a
Hmm.
lot of constructions, new builds, and mega hospital project that is coming up in next. Right now, it's in a stage two that is going to break the ground probably next year,
Hmm.
and a lot of jobs in Detroit as well. So a lot of people who are in Windsor, not only just for Windsor, there is like I believe there is over 4,000 people that work in Detroit because
Over how many? Sorry, 40,000?
4,000.
4,000.
Yeah,
Oh, from Canada.
from Canada every day they commute to
Okay.
Detroit for work
Did
because
you ever think of actually buying multifamily in Detroit? Because it's probably like less than half the
oh
price.
yeah, yeah. Because definitely, I thought about it. I
Yeah.
have a partner who is like pretty big in a multifamily in Detroit area, but personally, like I as of now, I stick to Windsor because still I can find good deals in Windsor. Like
Mhm.
right now, I have a 27 unit building on contract. We are just looking for investors on that. Um, because still there is opportunities in my own backyard. If I go to states now, the lending criteria is different. There is a whole lot of international things come into picture.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like definitely,
The thing is, it's the rental laws in the US in certain
oh
states
yeah,
that's better than here. So
yeah, I
that's
agree.
yeah,
I mean, again, that's definitely true. But that being said, like, we have our own advantages, they have their own advantages. You know that's something topic I love to continue on. But the main topic, just I would love to hear your story on how you got into pre-construction. What's what's your
oh
story there, like? Yeah.
yeah. Well, I when I got my license, I was doing very well. Being a nightclub promoter, I was more of a like a marketer back then. I thought I'd probably branch off and just do like start my own marketing company. But then I'm like, let me, because as I was making money in the nightclub promoting business, I was buying real estate, and like I bought in Florida, like I was buying here, and I remember I bought a property in Florida, kept it for 3 years, rented it, sold it, and then moved the money here, and I was able to buy pre-construction. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try this pre-construction thing, and it's very similar to like the promoting.
Mhm.
Um, so I liked it. I liked it because it involved my marketing skills. Like, so I had to use my creativity to be able to get leads. And when I was doing it, like not a lot of people were doing it. So, the thing is you don't get paid right away. So
Yeah.
because I was also a nightclub promoter while I was in real estate, it worked out. But again, before I did that, I tried resale. I tried doing some commercial. I didn't like it. I didn't like
So
resale.
initially you did a part-time, like you did sales for part-time.
No, I was working two jobs and I was working them full time
Oh wow.
because promoting I it was easier in my situation because like I was a nightclub promoter, so at
Mhm.
nighttime, yeah, I would lose some sleep, but whatever. I don't sleep much. So I was just working two jobs. I didn't have kids at the time, so it was easier for me to do. But now I wouldn't be able to do it because I have two kids.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's a common question I get actually on my channel. Like, a lot of people who have a full-time job, they want to do a sales part-time. What would you recommend for people like that?
I would recommend them going in the hospitality business, especially if they're realtors, because like that's going to get you leads for real estate. If you're an agent, right? You're going to meet people, and that's what this game's all about.
Yeah,
If you know,
true,
it's
true.
about who you know.
Yeah, makes sense. And so what do you like about pre-construction? Like, what's your take on, like, if I'm an investor, I don't know anything about pre-construction. What would you tell me?
What I like about pre-construction is that it's more of a long-term investment, right? A lot of people that buy into pre-construction that are like, yeah, there's an assignment, I'm just going to flip it. Those are the ones, like, you can make money doing that, but we don't know
Mhm.
what's going to happen in the market. Like when I invest in pre-construction, it's almost like it's still considered like a gamble because I'm speculating that this, the market, it's going to continue to go up, price is going to continue to go up, and I'm speculating. But at the same time, like I'm going to close on it, I'm going to rent it out minimum for 3 to 5 years, and then assess and see if it makes sense for me to sell it or to keep it or whatever. But if I lose money, I lose money. But that's my intention. My intention is not to just make a quick dollar and
Mhm.
just flip it as an assignment. I always tell people when you're buying pre-construction, make sure you have the intention to close it because there could be a chance you may have to close, because when you're selling an assignment, it's tough because there's so many restrictions that the builders will have on the APS. They'll basically say that you're not allowed to post it on Kijiji, you can't put it on the MLS, you can't put it on social media, and we have like it's tough to sell units when you can't promote them. You're restricted.
Yeah, because that's one thing I hear from a lot of realtors. Oh, you can just assign if you cannot close the deal.
Yeah, like you can assign it easy if you're selling it for like you're giving it away, right?
You
But
profit.
yeah, but again, it really depends the type of market. In this market, it's a little bit harder to sell assignments.
Yeah,
Right
makes
now,
sense.
3, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, it was a great time to sell assignments.
Yeah. So again, what are some of the advantages that you see? Buying so instead of buying a resale property, or even like a new construction that is readily available, why pre-construction?
Because you're only putting down 20%
Hmm.
buy a property that could be worth like over $1 million, right? Think
Yeah.
about like if you have the capital, you can buy a bunch of them,
Hmm.
and you're only tying up 15% and then 5% on occupancy.
Yeah, and you don't
So,
have a
like,
tenant as of
stocks,
now.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
Stocks, yeah, you could use margin, but you get a margin call, like you have to come up with the money.
Yeah.
And it depends what stocks you're investing in. Sometimes you need 75%. You keep getting the margin calls, especially in a market like this. But with real estate, with pre-con, you're not going to get a margin call. You put down 15% and 20% until occupancy, and then you just wait for closing. And
Yeah.
again, it's a long-term investment. Like I look at it long-term. You buy now, it'll probably be ready in 2026, 2027. Depends where you buy, how big the building is, and like again, I keep it minimum 3 to 5 years. It's kind of a simple investment. It's easy to do, but
Yeah.
again, like nobody knows what can happen. Prices can go down, but historically prices have gone up.
Yeah, makes sense. And like, do you personally invest in pre-construction?
Yes. Yeah.
How, if you don't mind sharing, like, what's your portfolio look like now?
I have a pretty big portfolio. I don't want to disclose it on YouTube.
Sure.
Yeah, but
I mean, something that you can share. How you got started. How do you structure your pre-construction projects for you personally?
yeah. So I'll tell you a unit I bought
Hmm.
back before when was it, in October? So I bought a
Hmm.
unit in October of 2021. This
Hmm.
was at 33 Yorkville, by Pemberton. Now
Hmm.
I'll tell you why I bought there.
Sure.
It's only 15% down, spread out, and then 5% on occupancy. Okay.
So again, I understand what you mean by spread out, but for people who are like a lot of people who watching this are new to this
Okay.
pre-construction. So what do you mean by spread out?
Okay. So basically, what the builders normally do will be like 5,000 on signing, balanced to
Hmm.
5%. So basically, 5% of the purchase price, minus the $5,000 you put down on signing. Okay, in
Hmm.
30 days, 5% in like average of like 6 months to a year, and then another 5% in like a year and a half to 2 years, and then the rest on closing. So that's 15% in total within like a year and a half to 2 years, and then the rest on closing.
Yeah, makes sense.
Or the rest on
Again,
occupancy, the 5% on occupancy, the rest on closing.
yeah,
Yeah.
again, that's a great way of saving plan if you don't have right away 20%. That's one thing I love about pre-construction. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Go
Yeah,
ahead with
great.
your.
Yeah, you made up a good point. So a lot of people that buy pre-construction also they're not in the market. They can't get a mortgage today, but they
Yeah.
know in 5, 6 years they may inherit some money, or they're going to get a better job, or they're kind of planning out their income and stuff. And
Or they're gonna get married, they have a second income coming in.
yeah, some people will buy it knowing they're getting married, and then they'll sell it if the market's good, and then they'll use that to buy a home
Yeah.
instead of investing their money in like the stock market or crypto.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. So again, what are the things that you looked at that project, right? That your project that you're mentioning, like what are the few things that you look out when you're buying this pre-construction project?
Number one is the builder, because if you're not buying from a reputable builder, you can lose your, like the builder may not even build. You won't lose your deposits because Terion protects you. You won't lose your deposits. You won't make money on your deposits. Like you're not going to make interest on your deposits, but you'll get it back. So number one, always look for the builder. The builder is the most important. Okay, because if you're not buying from a reputable builder, you don't know, anything could happen. Number two is the location. So I bought there because it's one of the best locations in the country. You're right across the street from the Four Seasons.
Okay.
And like it's kind of like a no-brainer because Yorkville, it has a Yorkville address. I was looking at that. I was looking at how far out it is. So if it was closing sooner, I wouldn't have bought it.
So just to touch a little bit more on the location, like what makes a project good location? Because what are the few things that I have to look into to consider this is a great location?
You got to do some research. You got to look at areas, and some of the best areas have the best transit. You got to look at, for example, an audience of buyers. Like you got a lot of people from Hong Kong that are buying in Yorkville because it's almost like a Manhattan of Toronto. And those people, when people from Hong Kong come to Canada, they want to go to places like Yorkville. They don't want to go to places like Vaughan or Markham, even though eventually they'll move there. But when they first come here, they're gonna want to go to like these staple locations. That's just like what I've seen and people that I've sold to, and I've dealt with some international people as well. And they'll park their money there. Now they'll park their money there using somebody else's name. That's another topic. Yeah. And they don't care if they don't make any money from it. So that's also what kind of drives the prices up, because they want to get their money out of their country. So a lot of people, like from Europe especially, like they're like, they don't understand that because there's restrictions on how many properties a person can own. They won't, like, if you're certain places in Europe, you're only allowed to own one house. You can't own
really?
Yeah.
So that's why they just park their money in a bigger cities, like.
Yeah, because we don't really have like too many restrictions. We kind of like, we want them to come here to invest. That's like, like we're letting them do it. Okay, there's the fee, the international. They don't care about that. There's so many ways around them just putting it underneath somebody else's name or bringing the money through a corporation. I don't know how they do it. I don't want to get into that, but.
Yeah. So again, that brings up a really good point. Like, so what do you think that this foreign buyer tax, or they're I think budget 2022 are planning to ban the foreign buyers for 2 years. Do you think would that be an impact on the the pre-construction projects like this?
Well, not a lot of people, international people, are buying pre-construction. Okay, if they are, they're not putting it under their name.
Got it. So
yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah, so I think it will scare off some international buyers, because once you start implementing some restrictions, it may, but I don't think it's going to do much.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, sorry, I broke you from the second point. So what are the other few important factors that you consider along with the location? I got the builder, and what else that you would look for to consider the project?
Yeah. So again, like you said, the builder, number one, the location. Number three is how far out it is.
Closing date, you mean?
Yeah. It's supposed to be ready in like 2026. I'm thinking it's probably going to get delayed to 2028.
So you prefer longer closing or shorter closing?
If you're an investor, longer closing. Yeah.
Like, so why is that? Like, what is the advantage of having a longer closing?
I'm just going by, like, the longer it takes, the more money it can go up, right?
Yeah, and also like longer, you don't have to worry about the tenants and the mortgage until the closing happens.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about any of that until then. Again, it is a gamble, kind of like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean. Where I'm banking on, like, I'm speculating that prices will go up
Hmm.
by that time, but nobody knows. Nobody knows.
And what are the some of the things that any investor who is looking into pre-construction need to be aware of, like precautions? What are the some things that you have seen investors failed in investing pre-construction?
I think they have to have the intention to, again, like I said before, to
Yeah.
close. They can't just, like, they have to know, okay, you know what, I can close on this. Don't like over leverage and start buying so many. Like,
Yeah.
buy whatever you can afford.
Whatever you can close at the end.
Exactly. Have
Yeah,
that
makes a
intent
lot of
to
sense.
close, right? I think that's very important. Also having all the other incentives that you get when you
What
buy.
do you mean, like what kind of incentives?
Like, normally builders are all adding the incentives, like the
Mhm.
assignment, right to lease sharing
Right.
occupancy.
Mhm.
And that's if you're an investor. Right to lease sharing occupancy. You have development charges and levies. You should have that capped
So
because,
what do you mean by development charges capped? So again, I understand what it means,
yeah,
but just for someone who is watching, totally new this, can you
yeah. So
elaborate on that point?
yeah, so that's basically a fee that the city basically charges. Okay,
Hmm.
to, like, I'll make it simple. Because now there's going to be like an increase of population in an area,
Hmm.
right? So the city's going to have to maybe widen the roads, or add some light posts and stuff like that, or those are the type of fees that are involved in development charges and levies. Maybe build a library or something, or expand schools or whatever, right? And if you don't have it capped, you don't really have a limit. So you need to have a cap, and the builders will normally do that.
Got it. So if let's say the cap is 5,000, and if it goes over that, builder will pay for it.
The builder will cover it, and then you're only responsible for the 5 grand. Yeah.
Got it. So that could, like, have you seen that went up like over,
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it.
Got it, got
I've
it.
seen it
And
happen where, like, it's gone up like 30,000, 25, and some people didn't have it capped.
got it.
So it's part of a, yeah, it'll be part of your closing costs, and if you don't pay it, you lose your unit.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you give us a one of your, like, success story of any project that really that you are super happy about, and how it went, how much you bought it for, what you made, if you don't mind, just one project.
There's a lot of there's a lot. I would say this one here, I'm very
Yeah.
excited for it.
Hmm.
Like, I sold quite a decent amount of units.
Hmm.
It was a different kind of approach on how I sold that project. I believed in it a lot. I bought in myself. But yeah, like, it's great. Again, I like investing in those projects that are like in great locations. And
Got
some
it.
people don't like that because the prices are more. You're going to pay more money. They're like, I'd rather buy in like Milton or
Hmm.
Georgetown or different locations. But I like buying in like great locations in Toronto.
Like prime locations.
Prime, yeah, prime location.
Got. and
Yeah.
and are you referring to like condos or semi
This
townhomes?
is just for pre-construction, right?
Hmm.
Now, when it comes to investing in, like, in resale,
Hmm.
I like buying in the most desirable, like, great locations, like older homes that have
Hmm.
like knockdowns, where in that subdivision you're seeing, like, like houses being built, right? New
Hmm.
houses being built. I like buying in those pockets.
Hmm. I mean, like, so I'm referring to the pre-construction, right? Like, would you suggest, like, for investors who are interested in pre-construction, would you suggest like condo pre-constructions, or like, detached semi? Um,
Attached semis are good too. Like, people have made a lot of money. I sold homes in Waterdown last year,
mhm,
for Green Park. We People bought for 1.2 million, and now it's probably worth, well, like, now it's kind of slowed down a bit, but
mhm.
there are probably people that bought for 1.2, probably worth about 1.5 now. That's in a
Yeah,
year.
yeah. I got two pre-constructions in around GTA.
Nice.
A friend of mine, he is also into pre-construction. He got me in one in Paris, the detached one. I got in like when it was 650. Now it's like 1.4,
Nice. Nice.
and it's like 2 years. I'm
And
like,
what
if
how much money did you put down?
10%,
It's amazing.
65 grand.
$65,000. So just think about that. $65,000 just made you what?
Almost 800,000,
Yeah.
and I haven't even closed the deal.
Yeah.
That's another cool part. So I still don't have a tenant, but again, that's also lucky, right? Like this 2 years was, I didn't expect that it would be that crazy. I was like, you know what, maybe 630. By the time I close it, 800.
Yeah. Hey, even if you make 300 grand, it's still a lot of
Yeah,
money.
yeah, exactly. Because if I, even if I was like okay with, even if it goes up by 100,000, because
Oh, I know.
2 years I put 65,000, and after end of 2 years 100,000, which is like still I made 100% return on my money, more
Mhm.
than 100% return on my money.
Yeah. It's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so that's, but I was, I was always debating like whether to go for condos or detached or semi-detached.
Well, if your intention is to rent them out, condos are much easier because with a home, you're going to have obviously a lot more maintenance involved and required. Like your multifamily, it's easier to maintain because you're in a
Mhm.
building. When people, you're renting at a home, you have a basement. The basement could flood. Like there's, like I've had I remember I had a property where the basement flooded. The guy living in, my tenant didn't even tell me,
Yeah.
and there was mold, and
Oh my.
I saw mold on the floor. So what we did is we had to cut, I think, like 6 inches around the whole basement, right? The
It's a pretty
drywall.
big ticket item.
There's mold in the back. There was no mold, thank God. But yeah, that cost me like 14 grand because we had to redo the floors.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
Yeah, makes sense. And so and also like I heard that even from my personal experience, the condos get longer closing.
Yeah.
So generally, like my pre-construction for detached was only 2 years, and if someone wants a longer closing, like I bought one in Burlington. This one closing is like 2025, and this one is like I put down a year ago, not even now. So
What did
it's
you buy, a house?
no, it's in Burlington. It's a condo.
Nice. Nice. Which
Eh,
project?
Um, Now I forgot the name.
Oh, okay.
It's in a core Burlington downtown. Let me think. Hmm. My memory is not that great.
Mhm.
I have done a bunch of deals after that, so I don't remember the exact name. So, but I got to look at my books. But it's with Adi developers.
Okay.
Have you heard of them?
Realm condos.
Yes, that's on Ram. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So did you had any experience with
Yeah, I did
them?
some deals there.
Mhm.
Like I didn't do a lot, but I did a few. Yeah.
Got it. And
Yeah.
what are the some things that you would recommend looking into, like the condo itself? Like, one thing I was like, always, even I got questions from my clients and also for myself, because I'm still like new to pre-construction. I'm trying to learn.
Mhm.
What are the things that I need to look like amenities? What kind of amenities that people prefer, or that will help to resell your property? Like what kind of amenities, parking, does it important? Is it important?
Well,
Um,
the parking's only important if you're not in an area close to transit,
mhm.
right? So if you're like, not really in an area, like let's say you're buying in Markham or something and you're far from the GO station, like I would say, parking is important to get. Like I'm seeing a lot of buildings being sold in
Mhm.
areas that don't really have transit with no parking. Like, you know, yeah, I would say parking's important if you're buying in an area like that. Oh, I think your live came off
Oops, I didn't pay attention here.
on Instagram. It's okay. On Instagram, I think it came off.
What do I do here? Okay, send a request. I sent a request.
But
I think
Sylvia, Realm Condos. Hey Sylvia, did you invoice Realm Condos?
what
I
did I?
did. Yeah. Are you good?
Yeah, I sent you a request there. I don't know, probably you got the request or not.
Here we go. Soon, she said. I think I got paid for that one already. I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. We're
Yeah,
live.
maybe. Yeah, we can take some questions here. Even here, I got one guy asking, like, a young immigrant, how can I make more than 50K? Do you have some recommendations?
Um, can he write back? Okay, so how much money do you have to put down right now? How much money do
So
you have to invest?
probably, hey, let's say he has like if my
Right? Okay.
understanding,
Um,
let's make some assumptions. He's not responding back here, but let's make some assumptions like he has 10,000 money.
$10,000. I don't know, $10,000 to make 50,000. What can you do? Like you can't use 10,000 to invest in real estate.
So probably, if I have to say, like, get into some sales, right? Like, so get into the sales, start making money, because the easiest way to build up cash is
Here,
get it.
my advice would actually be to go read some books. Sorry.
That's a good advice. Yeah, that's a good advice.
Yeah, go to like Audible or something, download the best books you could possibly get, learn, watch a bunch of videos, take a bunch of courses, pay people to train you, the best people that know what they're doing to train you and teach you, and you'll make $50,000 in a year.
Yeah, love that. Love that. I agree. Another question here. What happens if you cannot close the pre-construction condo?
That's why it's important to have an assignment. So, like assignments are not only just to make money, they're also made that if something changes in your life, you can always assign it to somebody else. If you can't close a pre-construction condo, too bad, you're going to lose all your money. If
Yeah.
nobody wants to take over the assignment, you're going to lose all your deposits. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, makes sense. Nihal, do you have any pre-construction projects coming soon?
Yeah, there's a great project right now. There's tons of projects, but there's a low rise project in Wellington.
Wellington, yeah.
Yeah, let me get the
So,
yeah.
so I'm gonna put the contact info for Corrado here in the comments. So reach out to him if you want more details on that project. And
Yeah,
also,
there's singles in towns. It's in Prince Edward County.
Mhm.
That one they're starting in the 800s. Yeah, if you're
Right.
interested, yeah, put my contact info and I'll help them out.
Sure,
It's a great opportunity. You should check this out as well for yourself.
sure, definitely. That sounds interesting. So there you go. In the comments, you can see Corrado. So sorry if I pronounce your name.
Good, man. You're good. You sound Italian.
Okay, that's good. Glad to hear. So reach out to him, and also, like, personally, we also have some projects in Calgary. Recently, my recent acquisition was in Calgary. There are some condos starting from 240,000, in a very up and coming location, 15 minutes from Calgary. So reach out to us, send us an email. I'll put our email in the chat if you want something in a lower price and in an up and coming location. So feel free to reach out as well. And going back to some questions here, Shailesh, does sellers pay GST on the pre-construction while doing an assignment sale, or is it the buyer? Actually, I would love to hear your thoughts on, because I saw some changes in the budget 2022 regarding this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay that. You're gonna have to pay that.
So the GST is generally we pay, but is it going to be on the price of the property, or
Yeah, on the price that you basically that you bought it for.
got it?
Yeah.
But I saw some articles saying, I don't know how far is it true or not, but so if, so let's say I'm the buyer one, I bought the condo,
Yeah.
and I sold it to buyer two as an assignment. I didn't sell, like, I didn't close it, but I assigned it to buyer two. So now the article said I am liable to pay whatever the end price, that not the price I
Yes. Yeah.
purchased from.
Sorry. Yeah. Let me rephrase. Yeah, you're gonna be responsible for paying what it is. So, but that's why you have to put a clause. You have to make sure that the new purchaser, they have to pay for it. They have to
Got it.
pay HST as well, like on closing if they're investors, right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
and is there any rebates for, let's say the second buyer who purchased from me? Now, if he closes on the deal, will he be able to get that HST back?
he'll be able to get up to $24,000 if he rents his house, his condo. Yeah.
Okay.
So if he
But what
rents,
if he
he has
owner occupied?
if he occupies it, no, because he's showing that he's a principal residence. But if he actually shows it as an investment property, then he has to send a lease agreement to the CRA,
Mhm.
and then you get $24,000 back.
Okay, that's not bad. At least
Yeah,
you got something out from. And we got some more
you can
questions
go to the
here.
CRA's website; it's all there. Like there's links. It shows how much money you'll get max back.
Got it. Yeah, so go check out the CRA website for more details. Again, it's good to know that there is certain rebates, and there is certain things that you need to consider. GST is one of the things that cost. So, what are any other unexpected costs that can come up when you're purchasing a condo or pre-construction?
The closing costs you have to make sure, so it's good to get a lawyer to go over everything with you, explain your closing costs, and that's why development charges and levies, you have to count that
Mhm.
into the end price. But yeah, it's important, it's good to go to a lawyer, have everything reviewed, ask them questions, how much it's going to cost for closing. Sometimes the realtors do know, like I understand it, but if you're buying from somebody that doesn't have as much experience, they won't know all the closing costs.
Yeah, so that's another reason why it's better to work with someone who has good experience in the area that you're looking at.
And it's
Here,
hard for people to know that. It's really tough. Like, like some people, like, there's a lot of agents that say they know it all and they don't.
yeah, but if the experience speaks for itself, right? Like if you're just blindly working with someone because they're your friend or friend's friend,
Yeah.
but you're not asking, how many transactions they have done, or how many transactions they purchased personally, how much
Yeah.
experience they have, then that's where it's your problem, right?
I feel that if they're pushing you too hard to buy, then they're out for lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that. If somebody wants to buy, I show them, I kind of advise them where to go. Obviously, I don't know, like I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know which projects, like, but I just know from experience that this area is better than this area. This builder is better than this builder. So that, and like as long as everything kind of checks off the box, I'm good. I know which projects are good.
Yeah, that again, that's what matters, right? Like especially working with someone who have done it, who've been in this for a while, and who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one too. That's a very important point actually. So for anyone looking to invest, you better have someone on your behalf who can help you
That
with
knows
the
what you're
with
doing.
the
So
intention to help you, not for the commission base.
yeah, somebody that you can trust. Like, look, I've been there in the beginning when I first got in. I was like pushing people, "Hey, man, buy this." But I was always the type that, like, I remember there was a project, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, "Hey, this is very expensive. Like, I can't sell this. I'm going to screw people over. I don't want to do that. Like I can't sleep at night. I can't do that."
Yeah.
And I remember the units were selling at $500 a foot.
Wow.
Now today that area is probably at about like 1200, 13, no, about 1150, $1,200. And I was wrong. I was telling people not to buy it because I felt it was too expensive, but nobody knows. Now,
Yeah.
if you compare back to this expensive part that I'm talking about, if you compare our prices, yeah, it's high. But if you compare it to like New York,
Yeah.
Hong Kong, like Toronto's becoming a place like that.
Yeah.
Slowly, but surely, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's one thing with the Toronto, right? Like, the reason I bought my pre-constructions in Toronto area, like around GTA. I don't know, probably for Toronto, if I call it Toronto, maybe Burlington is not a Toronto, but GTA area. It's the same reason. Like I believe in like the GTA, the bigger city. It's one of the only hub in Canada.
Yeah.
So I agree. And here taking on to
Here,
some
one
questions.
one second, 1 second. If it's echoing on Instagram Live, just check us out on YouTube. The link's there. I pinned the link. You can check it out.
Yeah, sorry about that echo. Probably trying to run both the lives at the same time.
I
So
have like
trying to
five
help.
new ones here.
Yeah. So, question here: can you sell assignment at any time, or is it just during the occupancy?
You're going to need the builder's approval and consent. So the best thing to do is just contact your lawyer and have your lawyer reach out to the builder's lawyer. And once you have their blessing, then they'll basically tell you what you can do. If you can put on the MLS, you can post it on social media, and obviously try to get try to get permission to post it on the MLS because it'll be easier to sell. Now there's other ways of.
Some builders allow for posting on MLS.
Sorry.
Do some builders allow for posting on MLS?
Sometimes it just depends. Like if it's closer to occupancy, normally they allow it, or if it's during
Okay.
occupancy, sometimes they'll allow it. Yeah.
Got it. And with the assignments, what's the best practice? Because let's say, my project is closing in 2025 and I want to exit now. Is it a good idea to exit now or wait close to the closing? What's some of the best practices in that around, like if I want to assign and get the best possible returns?
Um. Okay, so I don't like assigning myself. I like closing on my units. Again, keeping
Makes
it
sense.
from 3 to 5 years. But the best time to assign is when the market's hot. So like we just passed that. We like 3 to 5 months ago was the best time to assign your unit.
So again, I'm just jumping the guns here from
Yeah.
pre-construction to the market because that you raised. I love to ask all my guests. What's your take on the current market situation? What's your predictions going forward would happen? With this interest rates and with this, the slowdown that we are seeing right now.
Hey, I
What's your
just
take?
made a video on my YouTube channel yesterday because I've been sick this week. So
Mhm.
I made a video. Now things are slowing down a little bit. I got to make a video, so check it out on my YouTube channel.
Definitely, I'll make sure I'll put the link
Yeah,
in the comments as well. But if you can, put it in a short, like,
sure.
what's your couple of words of wisdom here?
The interest rates are supposed to go up again. They have a meeting on the Bank of Canada has a meeting on. You go to their website and check it out. It's June 1st.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I think they have like another 4 meetings after that, 3 or 4 meetings. I think it's four. Um, and yeah, so they're saying some people are saying we can go up 75 basis points. That's a lot. That's 0.75%. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's high. That's going to scare some people. I think things are going to slow down a bit. I don't think the market's going to crash. I think things are just going to slow down. It's a great buying opportunity now. I think like obviously don't go crazy, but like if you talk to your mortgage broker, put yourself in a position ready to pull the trigger if you have the funds.
Yeah,
That's what I
makes
would.
sense. And do you see this is continuing to go for next year and upcoming year, or do you see like it will turn back again? Like we have seen in 2000 when the COVID first hit 2019. The
Yes.
first 3 months it was like same thing happened in Toronto, 10% drop, and then it picked up probably after 4 months.
So if you look at how many new immigrants are coming to Canada, there's I think 340 something thousand people
Yeah,
every year
yearly. Mhm.
yearly. This year, I think the first quarter was 122,000 or something. So you can find this info available online. I put it on my video as well. So like there's going to be there's going to be people that may have to sell, but you got these people coming with money. Like people from India, people from Hong Kong, you got people from Europe coming with real money to
Yeah.
buy. They can buy 5 houses, 5 properties without a mortgage. And like I've seen this, and they will eat up and absorb all the properties that will come up on the market. I that's what I think.
Yeah, makes sense. Again, I personally believe in kind of my thought process is the same way. Like, right now there is a drop in prices because there is a lot of fear. The
Mhm.
Bank of Canada is trying to scare people. That, I mean, it's real. They're trying to increase the rates. So until the rates continue to increase, and once they stop increasing, then now it becomes a new normal because
Yeah.
we have to survive with that interest rate.
Well,
And
there is a lot of FUD in the market, right? The war,
yeah,
right? The
yeah, oh
war
yeah, that's another
scared
big part.
the war scared me in the stock market. Like I had a lot of money invested in the stock market when Ukraine first got invaded by Russia. I got scared. I didn't know what to do because I'm not an expert in stocks, but I sold my positions,
Hmm.
my trading account. Now my investing account, like I got really scared. It put me in a bad position because I didn't know what the heck was going to happen.
Yeah,
Uh,
uncertain times, right? Like, those
yeah,
no one knows.
we have
First,
that. We have, inflation, right? We
yeah.
have interest rates going up. Gas prices are insane. That's why you should buy a Tesla. Hey,
Actually,
we closed down today. Today's a great time to buy some shares. The
yeah,
market closes at 4, so
yeah. And by the way, we are not financial advisors, so this is
I'm
just
not
a
a
random two guys, one white guy and brown guy talking on YouTube, just sharing their opinions. So please consult your professionals. Just a warning there. Again, so yeah, I love it. Actually, I just booked a Cybertruck. I don't know when it's gonna arrive, but I'm
yeah.
excited about Tesla. Uh,
Oh
and
yeah.
also
I have a Model X. I love it. I save so much money because I drive a lot. Save a lot of money because I'm not, I'm just charging it overnight at my house.
yeah,
Yeah, you have an EV car. What's going to happen? You have to kind of have to plan your routes. You can't go from Windsor to Toronto to Pickering. You
yeah,
won't make it. You're gonna have to charge in between.
yeah. Probably just need a little bit more planning.
Yeah, maybe you should look at. I think the Mercedes has 1,000 kilometers on a charge because that's the thing
Wow.
with that's
Which
the
one
thing
is that?
with.
What's the model?
I forgot the name of it,
Mhm.
but Mercedes I think has 1,000 kilometers. Maybe
Wow,
somebody
I gotta
knows.
check it out then.
Mentioned in the comment. I think it's 1,000 kilometers on a charge.
Yeah, love that. I, I, I was not a big fan of electrical vehicles until like this gas prices started to go up. I'm like, whenever I fill the gas, like before it was like $50 or $60. Now it's like $100. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah.
that
Wow.
means like
Do you
as a
drive a lot
realtor.
in Toronto?
No, no, I don't drive that much. Probably like once in a month or maybe
Okay.
twice in a quarter. Yeah, I don't do business in Toronto. I'm pretty much very based in Windsor, Essex. That's my expertise. Except if there is any pre-construction come up, I have some friends who are into pre-construction as well. If
Yeah,
someone sends me any exclusive deals, I send out to my clients. Other than that, like I don't really do that much of a business in GTA. I
yeah.
buy personally for myself. And here we got a couple of questions. I know there's almost we are up for time here. Let's take a couple of questions here.
Yeah, answer your
Um,
question, man. Let's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So Nihal is asking, as we don't need pre-approval mortgage for pre-construction, first of all, is that true? Does it still require to have a high salary job to qualify for pre-construction?
Like you need to have a mortgage pre-approval letter. Does it
Yeah,
require to have a high salary job? It really depends. Like I would say make sure that you have good credit. Okay. Before you even buy a pre-construction, go talk to a mortgage broker. Make sure you're approved. Know how much money you can get. Know how much, what you can buy, what you could afford. Okay. Get that pre-approval letter and then buy your condo or whatever, your house, whatever you want to buy. That's what I would do.
yeah, that totally makes sense because if you're not in a position like at the end, if you cannot close, if some things change with the assignment, or if you cannot assign it, that means you're in trouble. So
Exactly.
do it only if you can, if you're 100% confident that you are capable of closing that deal. I love that advice, honestly.
Yeah.
That's, I think, one of the best advice from the, if you have to take a take home advice from this whole live, that's something I definitely
Yeah,
believe
there's
in.
no point of wasting your time looking at things. Look, okay, you can get pricing and all, but go to your mortgage broker first. Go to a good one, somebody that knows what they're doing. Don't just walk into a bank.
Yeah,
Ask your friends, ask people, ask the best people to ask is your real estate broker.
yeah,
If you ask them, they'll get you in touch with the best people in the business.
yeah,
And then
because there are.
because that's like another game, like it's almost like you have to, it's like a formula. You have to, the mortgage brokers have to know to put things right so you get more money.
Yeah, even if you don't qualify now, but do you know what are the projections of your income, right? Like if you have a salary hike coming up, but if you sit down with your mortgage broker, he can punch in that numbers into his calculator and tell you, okay, you're good or you're not good, or you're pretty bad, or maybe he'll suggest you maybe get a friend who can qualify with you. So yeah, I love that. And what are some of the things that some of the pitfalls that when it comes to pre-construction, that gray area that many people don't know, that your advice for newbies to look out for?
Well, again, I would say make sure that you do your proper due diligence with the builder.
Mhm.
Don't buy from a like a like a non-reputable builder, like, because the thing about that is you never know what can happen, right? The project could go, the builders have ways of canceling projects, so
Mhm.
you want to buy from a reputable builder.
And also, I heard like they can even increase your price at the closing
Yeah,
for.
construction costs go up, they could increase the price.
Yeah, if it's a reputable builder, generally they hesitant to do that because their reputation on the line.
It depends. Some builders will do it, but you have to, like, again, that's why it's good to have a lawyer review everything, and work with the best in the business.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So again, thank you so much for your time. It's a really great chat with you. It's a lot of learning stuff. So, what is your final piece of advice for someone who is looking into pre-construction, never did something, um, and then we'll call it a day.
You know what? My best advice would be not to be scared to do something. Don't be
Yeah.
scared. Just try it. A lot of people are scared to make that step to invest. Don't be scared, but make sure that you're doing your due diligence. Go over everything. But yeah, like, just take the step, give it a shot. Like, again, like, what can really go wrong in Canada, in Toronto specifically, in the GTA? Like, it's a growing place. Comparing
Yeah.
it to other parts in the world, like, we're just, it's like we got so much money coming here from all parts of the world. Yes, you know what? Prices could come down a little because of everything going on and interest rates, but don't let that scare you.
Yeah, and especially your best advice that you gave in the beginning was like if you're playing for long run, right? If this game, if you're playing for long term, what hey, we see these cycles all the time. In 5 years, 10 years, you'll see one or two drops happen. They could be
Yeah.
5%, 10%, 20%, or even 50%. But
Long
over
term,
10.
you'll always do well if you're patient
Yeah.
and you don't have, like, that intention to just do it fast to make a quick dollar right away. I think, again, this is a long term play. Like, when you're buying real estate, you're not buying stocks where you could sell it right away from your
Yeah.
phone. Something that there's a process. You have to hire a realtor. You can do it yourself, but I'm just saying it takes time to sell something. Like, you're buying something long term. Like, that's the way I look at it. Yeah, some people have made a lot of money because of the market was kind of, they got lucky. But I think, again, it's a long term play.
Yeah, love it, man. Thank
Yeah,
you so much. And also, if you have any projects coming up, just send it my way. I'll DM you my email address if you can put me in your email listing. So
yeah,
that
for
will.
sure. Yeah, you know what? I think it'd be great. We could kind of collab if you have some
Yeah, I
investors.
love to because I love pre-constructions personally.
Hey,
Uh,
I've also helped a lot of realtors that are busy doing resale, other stuff that don't really know pre-construction. It's
mhm.
not that hard to,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like, like, I have no problem helping you out, and we could work together on some projects for sure.
Yeah, love to, man. I'll DM you with my email address. And guys, if you have any questions more about pre-construction, again, reach out to the best. So I have the Instagram and the YouTube links for Corrado here in the chat. So there you go on the screen as well. So make sure to reach out to him. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much,
Have a
man.
nice weekend.
You guys.
Yeah, take care.
See you.